Welcome back, and hello to our audience in Zoom. Hi. Just a quick recap for our Zoom audience. As part of our 30th anniversary, we've launched our 30 for 30 fundraising campaign to overcome drastic nationwide cuts in arts funding to reading series. Please check out the 30 for 30 page on our website and join our campaign. And also, just to reiterate, we had 2 featured poets today, but one of them, Bradley Peters, not here due to a personal reason, so he will be missed. So introducing Isabella Wang. Isabella asked if I wanted the regular bio that she had, or if I wanted a funny one, and I said, well, I'm going to do the funny one. So Isabella Wang and creaky doors have a lot in common. They are both unhinged. Her published writing is code for real witchcraft spells. She is ripped off of countless literary magazines by convincing them to publish her garbage. Her hobbies include looking at shiny toasters. She loves the idea of cows, but thinks their existence is very flawed. Her books are actually done by a ghostwriter. She is named one of the Writers Trust 2025 Rising Stars and will be donating $5 of the award money to support cows. Please welcome Isabella Wang.
Hey folks, oh my god, hi. Yeah. Somewhere in this store is a light green water bottle. If you see it, it is likely mine. It was definitely here. You saw it. And look at how perfect this shirt is. And there's cows on it. Also, you all should get this Screaming Goat package for your family and friends. It's really amazing. I'm getting it for my foster parents. Wait, it's broken.
I'll fix it.
You'll fix it. Okay. 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 This is like my bedtime, and around this time, I don't need any like alcohol or anything. I just behave like I'm drunk. So like, and this book is about November, and from what you guys have kind of already shared, it's I don't know why it is November. It's just a time when, I don't know, a lot of us tend to be missing a lot of loved ones and poets who are gone this time of the year. And so this book began on November 11th, Remembrance Day, 4 years ago when the poetry community lost Phyllis Webb, Lee Miracle on the same day, and then 2 or 3 days later at Tel Adnan. And around that time, I don't know if you guys remember, but that was like the first year we had this like giant torrential like rainstorm. It was like atmospheric rivers everywhere, and it just kind of came at the same time as everything. And so I watched my community grieve and I watched the weather grieve, and like the 2 things kind of seem to be connected. And so I'm actually a really lazy writer. Like I write like a poem every like couple months, and that's probably like the best I can do. My publisher hates me. But during that time, I was writing like a poem a day, writing them as letters to friends, particularly loved ones of Phyllis Webb. She was a poet that I knew and had engaged closely with, and I had a close group of friends who are very close with her. And so when she passed away, like it broke them. And you know, at the time, like there wasn't much I could do except just, you know, be there for them and hold a space for them with their grief, and also let myself grieve. And during that time, all I really had was a poem. So I was writing poems to them, not expectantly. I honestly thought like, because I was grieving so much, I wouldn't be writing at all. But I was writing quite a lot. And then shortly after, I was diagnosed with illness. So that's the second part of the book. And so I'm gonna read through some of these poems. We'll see. I'll read the room and see where it brings us. I was told, literally, quote unquote, read as long as you like. So my plan is to finish at midnight, and then we can all go to my hotel and go to the hot tub and swim. All right? Yeah, sounds good. All right. Constellations are ageless suns reborn as stars in the seeds of a conversation. They can neither vary nor pine for a different Steradian arrangement, but keep talking. Their expositions depend on the peoples of lands and revolutions, seeing them, imagining the bright sky, deep futures that they're holding, illuminations, until they're gone. I need to tell myself. Mornings, how are their heavens? Is there urgency for us to join the departed still? The skylarks shepherd nimbus dunes over sixth snow, and the blue that dawns before dark xylem leaves its edges with a lakewood and memoir of some pianissimo's verse. Is there a thing as crying havens? A rival forgiving the ten-earthed hearts, the ghosting of the whistling stratosphere. Forgiving them a night to remember the tender orbiting of another year's late growth, and picking up hemlock cones by the side of the body's capering road. Keep trying.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. No, it's hilarious. When it works, it's like the best sound in the world. Where have the poets gone? The wise, the sager than us elders, who rocked generations of poets into their worlds, but always insisted that they do the following. Because we are ready, they say. This world they've taught us that leading is remembering the ones who ask, are they still thinking about us? Did we at once gather them and hold them warm this November month? Tell them that nights echo thoughts of how much they're with us. Did we gather enough poems that tell them we still kind of need them? In this world, do we gather light for them daily? Days when we are cold and not ready to see the places they found and are traveling to be present for. Where are the better years? Where are the summers and more comfortable rains forgetting another day? Where are the coffee tables and phone call guests at the enjambments of people's care? Stairs we say we miss. Some people, the further they are, the longer we long to reach them. Maybe it's a line break, a breath. This lifetime, the rains blending with the mise-en-scène on the ferry ride over. Where are the forgotten letters? Times she called and you didn't hear your ringer. Now ringing her way back. They know we need them. The handful who've been leaving us messages all our lives, knowing we'd only find them after. The rains traveling with Phyllis a day later, departing, knowing to be okay. This series of poems, it kind of forms a long poem. They're untitled, but basically every one is dedicated to a friend grieving Phyllis. And this is I wrote this on the 15th, so 4 days after she passed away. One of my friends who was a poet was on his way to drive to like a poetry meeting or something. And normally this wouldn't be a big deal, except the road was literally a river. And the trees from where I was studying at the university was like bending sideways. And so I was literally quite worried, like, was he gonna make it? And so while he was doing this like poetry thing, I was in my university office and just thinking about that because I also knew like at the same time that he was like in this kind of like really dangerous, like on the road, he was also like in a lot of pain. Willing heart, beat slower these roving winter mornings. It's okay to say you feel a poem that is different. The winds today express the unfinished tempo of the song you can't get yourself to write just yet. See, you've got watchful ones holding you too. You've got the trees you watered at the roots, swaying steady and tall. And since I am, wait, is this in October? I'm not sure, but I think this might be written in November too. But basically, since I have come onto the island to do a reading, I thought I'd also share this poem called Soft for the poet faring to Galliano Island for a reading. I think this was November. There's a bog, gathers from the sepia of earth, and bronchial sojourns of a tree over evening of your travels. Your first reading since heat-doming pandemic taking you islands across. Now accidental ecosystems of rain, rakes last fallen leaves in your backyard, deep futures, rising like miniature lily pads. There's the voice of rain announcing fog's body, its silent, unperimetered existence. Your poetry rafts with the memory of otters and their play, the bevy of others welcoming your poet presence unto November island herd. Everything we know has collected water, edging felt-tipped sky, longing as bows after everything else fell asleep from the palpebrae of a monochrome world, faring on the backs of a storm that perspires and falls asleep too, while your walk takes centuries of earth to form. There's the sound of a bog populating city of raindrops, spelling micro-worlds under skin's tender margins. The fog taking you home has lifted the sky enough so your tired notebook can experience every droplet of rain as a pencil inscribing continuance through your events, performance, and friends, recalling the now's palpitating past. Rain as snow's past, palpitating, vulnerable form. The weather coming in to Victoria actually was wonderful. It was so sunny. I almost forgot it was like winter because like the past couple days, like in where I lived, it's been really rainy. And like I was telling Zoe this, and I'm a bookseller, but she's never gonna hire me in this store because I said whenever it rains, I'll strike. So if it rained in Victoria today, this reading would have been canceled. Two other cancer patients finding out their diagnosis near the holidays. It's a beautiful world, and I'm also scared to leave it. It's a beautiful world transformed in night and 5 inches of snow, and everywhere are the feelings I wrote of the Marina, timber mornings of the city, written years ago, but never so still, and this time feeling again, but cannot express, nor hear, nor cry. I walk down the water written before, muscle memory asking what to say of the fishing boats now, like winter loons anchoring stoically, the mast fins to the sky. What to say of anything now? I know it's not all beautiful, but the new symptoms hurt, and there are people you love you won't tell until the holidays are over. City windows smashed because the people without a home are cold. Only the ERs are open, and only you and one incarcerated patient got private rooms. This is a white Christmas you'll never forget, and there's not an inch of blue in the sky. Dawning, yawning quietly until you open the door. and it's beautiful again. I wrote this on Christmas Eve while spending Christmas with my foster parents. And that night, right before this poem, I accidentally made chlorine gas by combining bleach and Clorox. And so immediately I ran out of the apartment and locked them inside. But don't worry, because I called poison control, who told me that my parents would still be alive when I went back into the apartment. And then last Christmas, I got them a book called Serial Killer Kids Who Killed Their Parents. So they love me very much. I'm gonna read this poem called If There's Time. And you can't tell it from here, but it's more clear if you have a book. This is basically like a collage. Underneath is like a list of like frequently asked questions from a folder from the BC Cancer Agency that they gave me. And I kind of just wrote on top of it. So the BC Cancer Agency stuff is in gray, and in my words, it's just like regular font. And it's like about how like, there's a certain list of questions you can ask. And even those don't really lead you anywhere, but like there's also like so many questions that you can't really ask. If there's time. Then November came. Then there are no easy beginnings. Life is cut short and faced with my own mortality. When news came, when a phone call changes everything, when grief and desire become synonymous with a make-your-own-will kit from Amazon, I don't know how to begin to write. 1 month compiles into 30 letters to loved ones. 30 letters all in my head. When I dial numbers on my phone, when I know my news will make some people cry, when someone I know is on their way to the grocery store, I say, call me back later when you're home and sitting down. I will wait for your call. Do they already know? People begin lighting candles and pray for me. I disown the future because not caring is easier on the heart than grieving the things I still must do. My essays are incomplete. My professors defer my grade. Then writing's process becomes unfamiliar. My body is unfamiliar. I have no energy, no body mass, no sleep, or the ability to make language with my body. I am homeless too. Better not to give the tumor a permanent place to call home. I stay with several friends, Dawson, Coquitlam, Fairview. The story I have to tell has already been told many times, to me, by others who've made the same phone calls that have made their loved ones cry. This story I am silently sneaking into the basement of the hospital library between a book. I am here for an internal specialist consult, left here to wait. Some stories have no rising actions, no plot, no rest in the silences, no relief in the resolution of some long-anticipated denouement. I want there to be a record of this kind of story here on the hospital's bookshelves. I want my voice to linger after I leave behind a record of my story others have typed into a database. What parts of my story written down? Who am I in the hospital's archives? When a lot of grief in a soft place wants itself to be a softer place still. When all the soft places become impossible to inhabit. When the grieving body is in a hard place. When the body is not hard but wants to make itself so. When I think hard is half a mile closer to invincible. When my loved ones need me to be invincible. When invincible equals miracle. When after an appointment I am too drained to call. I know they're waiting for updates of what is happening at the hospital, but I lose myself behind the blue curtain. Maggie Nelson writes a book detailing all the ways she is in love with the color blue. I wonder, is there anything to love about the blue of a hospital? When speech equals cannot, when a voice compels me to speak, when a pain compels me to book that appointment again. Loss begins to grapple with language. Language wants to come out all at once. I am carrying my belongings from place to place. I have no extra storage for words. The words gargle in infinite arrhythmia, born in place of where my kidney once was. I might find the beginning of my story here in these lines somewhere. My language doesn't cling to meaning anymore. It is tired like I am. It is mourning. Others have written poems on love, grief, and illness. This is my turn. When our bodies grow weak, when disease takes hold of our organs, when our symptoms don't fit a definitive pattern for diagnosis, when writing comes amid all this and recovery and passing, I think it must be by miracle that anyone can keep writing, but I follow suit in many poets' pages. My words produce notes for a long lyric of grief, but my body looks for remission, a surgical date before metastasis, a pill to subdue nausea, a miracle during the pandemic, a home. Right. The patient is a body. The patient is a body is, a patient is a body is not a spelling test, diagnosis, responding to treatment, please advise. Patient is a body cannot spell or read or remember at which moment the cells dividing went wrong. The patient is a body. It is performance turned list of symptoms, brain fog like someone poured cement in skull. The patient is a body, speaks in metaphors because fog dissipates on the tongue, but practitioners understand cement. The patient is a body is epistemology on medical ledgers, shorthand. The patient is a body is digital archive, sealed from itself. The patient is a body is process attempts to unseal itself. Phone call, voicemail, documents pending approval will take 8 weeks approx. The patient is a body enrolls in biology seminars to understand what necrosis and papillary and lymphovascular invasion means. The patient is a body, holds out ruler measuring 9 times 7 times 4 centimeters against skin, then incision on self. The patient is a body, number of years old measuring biopolitical advantage, for others, disadvantage. The age of the patient is a body, evading diagnosis in the first place. This body is home to a piece of this body, a specimen 21 RS 50520, labeled with the given name of this body. This body is collected sample, is addendum number 1 disbelief, addendum number 2 that original diagnosis remains unchanged. Parts of this body are negative. Parts of this body are diffusely positive. This body is whole. This body goes by one given name, except the parts of it removed. When the body sleeps, it wraps itself in sheets of malignant cells, because without a blanket, pulled tight, everywhere else jolts wake freezing. Saturday mornings, this body is a red zone statistic. This body is an obstacle to healthcare, is an obstacle to this body. Parts of this body have been in a vial, a petri dish, container, specimen bag, tweezer, microscope, curve sketch equation. Simple primary school subtraction. Days this body has left before metastasis, minus dates of availability in the OR, equals February might be too late. This body is still a body in the aftermath of February. This body is a time awaiting recovery. Do you guys want to go home, or should I read for like another 5 minutes? Another 5 minutes? Okay. I still have time to go to Winners after. Okay. I will, two very short ones. No, one very short one, and then one more. And I should read the inscription for here. In the dedications, I write, oops, that's notes. I write, thank you, Danny Loki Chaos, my cat who is blocking the computer screen as I am editing this. Nimbus Siebel Puff, cat number 2 who is perfect and never blocks my screams. Candle cat of 16 years who loves Josh and tolerates me. So since Nimbus is the perfect word, this poem is about him. There are no poems about the other cats. In one column of stars, the pith of a seed calls from cyanide, and the pith of a tree is struck. The outer edges of some go on living. In our hearts, we call on December, moving at a pace hard. I see a seaboat in my small kitten, born old, with white mustache and gray lanugo, reminding me of all the elders I know. His snow falls above the migraine of train tracks, stoic and never cold enough to last. Right. And this one is for my surgeon. He was there for the first launch of this book, which was really cool. But then he came in when I was on the operating table, and he was like, which side am I removing again? And I'm like, please get the right kidney. But he's very good. So like, if you are ever broke and need to like sell your kidney on the black market, like he's probably the safest person who could do that for you. And I've got his number, so just call me. Healing for Dr. Truong. No, nothing unjust about my world that lifts me in all of its mercy. My surgeon spends years practicing 5 incision points to the belly. This is the heart I hear, the temple of laparoscopic lenity. 2 hours feels like 7 years to my loved ones, and waiting in a lifetime of unknowing time for the miniature robotic technology prolonging the humanness of human life that they can never be. And 5 minutes for me. I have no memory of being a part of this world, and it feels like the closest thing I know to dying. 7:45 a.m. Prepare patient to greet surgical team and medical students. Do you watch The Good Doctor? I ask them. This diagnosis ruined my favorite show for me. Is the body of a patient manipulatable chemical matter? Physics? Though there are rules I refuse to believe exist. The same world that gave me a rare cancer for my age group gave it to me on a disposable organ. Caused an Omicron outbreak in the hospital, but pronounced this variant, if infectious, then at least less fatal. It knows there's been so much loss already. We are the cells that make up the body and memory of the world, and causes it to hurt sometimes. My friend is still in the hospital room, her daughter waiting to see her. It's been a week since her last memory of being able to walk without pain, of cooking Chinese food, of talking to someone. No, she cannot understand English. No, but she has learned to communicate with the nurses who bring her a tray of warm soy milk. No, nothing unjust about this world with some heart lumps in its body, hurting, but go on beating its heart for us because it doesn't want to leave. It doesn't want to let go either. I don't believe in luck, Dr. Chuan says, but I know I am lucky because I woke up and knew that they're still here and that the moment of brief transformation from snow to gently blowing grains of aspen will be a long and thawing lyric by the time we're healing. Thanks, folks, so much for that.